It's Tuesday, Paul Talkers. I lived in Baltimore for about 13 years, a decade in Charles Village near my university, and then 3 years in Southwest Baltimore. And so I've driven around many parts of Baltimore City, including pretty much every single shot that I've seen from the hashtag Baltimore Riots that are happening right now. There are many people's voices you should be listening to about what's happening in Baltimore right now. Many of them are on Twitter. I'll list a bunch of them below. They are black people who understand the underlying tensions of the systemic racism and police brutality permeating the history of Baltimore. Listen to them more than me, please. For my part, I want to try to convince you to think critically about the news you're hearing about the so-called Baltimore riots. I want you to think about who's been killed or hurt in all of these situations, and I want you to think about what sort of justice has happened in response to that, if any. I want to encourage you to be suspicious of police departments as unreliable narrators who are biased in telling their side of the story. I want you to listen to the words that are used to describe police actions versus the responses to those police actions. Baltimore residents peacefully protested the lack of justice for Freddie Gray's murder for about a week. Almost nobody paid attention. There was even a White House Correspondents' Dinner during one of the largest protests. I talked about that in a previous vlog. But when you heard about the protests, was the wording about those protests more or less critical than the wording about the killing of Freddie Gray? Think about that. An unarmed black man being brutalized and then dying from a severed spine. That should be criticized aggressively versus protests. Among the thousands of protesters, just a little bit of violence. Think about how the news characterized that. And then think about how the violence that erupted from the protests against systemic racism killing black people, think about how that reporting compares to, say, the reporting of riots that happen after sports games, where probably just as many police cars are destroyed, where just as much property is damaged, where just as much looting occurs. What is the reporting like on that occasion versus what's happening in Baltimore? Today in Baltimore, there was confrontation between high school-aged kids carrying backpacks and textbooks versus police in full riot gear with guns and tear gas and pepper spray and armored vehicles. Think about, in that scenario, who is described as a thug? I would be afraid for my life from the militarized people, not the kids who have homework. Think about how when public figures are calling for peace in Baltimore, are they talking to the ones who are tear gassing, pepper spraying, murdering black people in the streets? Or are they talking to the people who have been tear gassed, who have been pepper sprayed, who have been arrested for no good reason besides being black and killed for it? Who is being told to calm down? Why? There is violence on the streets of Baltimore today. It is violence both from the police and from the other residents of Baltimore. But of those two parties, one side has suffered hundreds of years of systemic abuse and oppression and brutality from police and authority figures. The other side gets paid leave after they kill someone. One side loses community members. They are dead and will not come back. The other side loses some vehicles and insured property. I'm encouraging you to think about how these stories are being framed and who is telling these stories to you. When the Bloods and other gangs of Baltimore agree to a temporary truce so they can protect the residents of Baltimore, and police are so violent, photos look like an invasion from overseas is happening, think about how these stories are being framed. But don't be shocked. Don't say that this is unbelievable. This is very believable. It keeps happening in so many neighborhoods all over the United States. I call it systemic racism because it's not in one place and one person. It is fucking everywhere and you should be mad about it. Black lives continue to matter. Black voices are more important than mine. Again, I'm going to link to some Twitter accounts in the description. Listen to them, see what they're saying. Realize that there is another truth, perhaps a truer truth, that has been hidden from you. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Or tell me anything that matters to you, because I want to know what matters to you. This Saturday, May 2nd, I will be having another live show with my friend Rowan Ellis. We'll talk about lots of different things, but come join us on my channel here. Ask us questions. Laugh at our goofiness. It will be a fun time, unlike today has been. Now, if you like this face, talking about these injustices, please subscribe, because I'm going to keep on talking about it. Thank you for watching all the way to here, and tomorrow will be even better.